Hey, thanks, Joe, for the awesome introduction. We're gonna hack your crates tonight. I'm gonna show you all how with some real super quick and easy steps. But before we go any further, let me just kind of explain how I got things right and what got us to this point tonight. It all began when I was in radio. Beginning in the industry, I had to kind of start somewhere. And it all began with me simply giving those on-air hosts the weekend off. The Saturdays through Sundays were pretty much my hours, and I had to fill with long-form programming. Programming like the shows you may have woken up to, Rick D's and the Weekly Top 40, along with Hollywood Hamilton, Saturday nights with the Baker Boys Hip Hop Master Mix. These were all 2, 3, 4 hour long shows that I had to plug in, and they would be delivered in the form of not only the media itself, but the show notes that came along with it. Now, I only had access to these because I was working in radio, and not many people had these at their fingertips. But if you can see right here, this is kind of the order of songs that Rick would count down, and then there would be little slots where I would have to push play on the commercials. And to me, this was helpful, especially when I was becoming a club DJ. I wanted to know what songs were hitting, and I always referred back to this list as kind of a template to where to start. So I found that really helpful. And if you really look back on it, this is really the start of where Crate Hackers even began for me. I also had the chance to audition for the Johnny Cash family of businesses last year. Now, to me, of course, being a huge Johnny Cash fan and my infinity of always wearing black, it just made sense for me to work there. But you have to understand, they had me on a night that I was just completely wiped out. I had done wedding after wedding, and I was just coming down off of the holiday parties. They wanted me to perform prime time on New Year's Eve, so I had to kill it. I had to go in there and just show them who's boss. But I was just, again, so wiped out from the season that I needed kind of a kickstart, maybe someone to help me break out of my creative rut. And that's why I joined the DJ's Vault. If you don't know about Joe, get to know Joe. He's helped me and hundreds of others. And in his private group, he posted this for his members: a show list of a performance that he did recently where he recalls it being probably his best party ever. And to me, this was very familiar. It was a list of songs that were tested and worked and were actually performed. And again, coming from Joe, that was like gold to me. I thought, wow, this is familiar. Now, wait, I know what you're thinking. Did I plagiarize Joe Bunn? No. He just gave me some inspiration, a way to be able to stay on track. Of course, I was able to dive in and dive out and play requests and add my flavor into it, but this helped me stay on track, and I knew that these songs worked for him, and they worked for me. In fact, right after this, they offered me a full-time residency at Johnny Cash, and I really accredit this to the help of Joe and just giving some inspiration in terms of music. Along the way, I've done a lot of things wrong. Oh man, more than I've done right. And some of you may be able to relate to this. DJing the wrong way. Super disorganized crates. Sometimes they could be too much of a mess. That may be what causes Serato face. Staring at your computer too long because you're trying to find that track. And along the way, you run out of time and oh no, dead air. The dance floor's looking at you like, what just happened? You were scrolling through that massive library is what happened, and you ran out of time. Serato face is what that's called. Literally just staring at your computer and not at your audience. We're going to try to eliminate that tonight. Non-compatible hardware. It's not going to work for you if the drivers aren't up to speed, if that USB is not reading properly. We can help you with that. I'll show you how. The elitist mentality of trusting your opinion of music. Not always as successful as you would think it would be. Yes, your opinion matters. Yes, your taste and swag has a lot to do with it, but are you really sure? Are you 100% positive that song is going to work? Why not work with the experts? Turning events down because you just weren't comfortable with that particular scenario. Let's say maybe you're a 50-year-old DJ who is just getting booked for a mitzvah. Entertaining kids, are you up to speed with their music? We can help with that. Tons of duplicates, sloppy library. If you learn anything tonight, you're going to learn that as we hack your crates further. But first it begins with the thing I've done wrong that just really kickstarted where I am at today. And that begins with my biggest DJ fail. I was booked at the Aria Hotel, one of the most luxurious nightclubs with the most amazing nightlife. The biggest DJs in the world perform there. I was given a chance to play at the Liquid Pool Lounge. This, again, was my Vegas debut, if you will. They said, you know, come prepared, bring all your music, bring everything you need. And I thought all I needed was this. How many of you had this? One's in the chat. One's in the chat if you used to have the Numark Mix Track Pro, not the 3, but the 1. This is old school. I rolled down into Vegas, backpack in hand, a Windows library with virtual DJ, and I walked into one of the most prestigious nightclubs in the world. Only to find out they had this. Something that cost more than my car back at the time I was performing. I mean, this thing is $6,000. Not many of you have access to this, but that's what you're expected to play on when you're rolling with the big leagues. I was not prepared, safe to say. Oh my gosh, I was like that kid at the half-court line trying to do the three-point shot. Massive fail. Promoters were like, get this guy out of here. He's done, he's never coming back. I packed up my bags. I tucked my tail between my legs. I got on the plane, and it resonated with me deeply. It hurt me to my core. I thought I was prepared. I never thought I was going to have a chance to perform in places like this again. And at that moment, I told myself something has to change. You have to get it right, especially now. There's more competition. There's more players coming after your gigs. The strongest, most talented will survive. So tonight I'm going to give you as many ideas as possible, as much inspiration from 25 years of doing it right and doing it wrong. But you got to do the work. I can't spoon feed you. These are not typically guaranteed. It may not work for you. All of this requires a lot of hard work and dedication, but not as much as me. I've done years of this. I've combined it into a tool that's going to allow you a chance to break free from the fails. We're going to hack your crates tonight. Plain and simple. We're going to hack them. Stick around to find out. We're going to organize your crates quickly so you can find that next perfect song instantly. No more Serato face, no more dead air, with 4 secrets. We're going to hack to find the hits, the songs that actually work. We're going to hack your crates with batch organization. We're going to make what may seem like a mountain of work be minimized in minutes. We're going to have performance hacks from not just me, but some of the brightest tech nerds in the entire industry. I can't wait to introduce you. We're going to find support. Oh man, we got a tribe of hackers who are ready to answer any questions you need. But first it begins with hacking the hits. Number 1, we'll have a problem, then of course I'll have the solution. The problem really with hits is it's a moving target for one, and it's quite unreliable for the DJ. Maybe for the radio programmer, maybe for the average Spotify listener, but we're talking DJs. Are there really charts that determine what fills a dance floor? That's a problem. Spoiler alert, there is. I'll show you how soon. Really what it boils down to is album sales for the Billboard Hot 100. Spotify stream numbers is another good metric, but again, that's not for the average DJ. Like, where's the energy? What's the mood? Is it danceable? You can't find this anywhere unless you hang out with us. There's so much new music. In fact, during quarantine, just by my estimation, I noticed an increase of at least 35 to 40% in homemade bootlegs and edits. A lot of people had time on their hands. They were sitting there on some stems and some features that they never really got around to, so they were churning out remix after remix. And so you're going to all these record pools and you're just like, this is too much. And all the while, 2020, how are you able to keep up on it all? With all this madness, it's difficult. It is a problem. You need hacks to find all this great new music. Maybe save a little bit of extra time at the dinner table. How many times have you had your girlfriend or your wife bring you food while you're sitting there with a laptop on the couch just constantly working? We want to give you that time back. We want you to be there for the family and your friends and save some time by finding the music that really works fast for you. How do we do it? Well, we're going to show you through Crate Hackers direct access to DJ charts, rate the music reports, call out reports. What is all this? It's lingo in radio, but I'll break it down simply for you. And along the way, we'll show you some third-party streaming tools that'll really amp up your game. Now, I'm really not supposed to show you this. This is kind of an inside peek as to what radio programmers have access to. This is what's known as Rate the Music. Now, there's a free service that allows you a chance to give a quick behind-the-scenes look, but when it comes into drill-down analytics, Rate the Music is what's really handy. Again, now we're talking about radio programming, but there are some nuggets of information here that could come in handy when it comes to finding the music. And you can see right here things like the popularity, the familiarity, the burn factor. What is burn factor? That means it may have been a #1 hit, but after a while, people are just, they're over it. So there's a burn factor. Popularity scores, things like, where is the song charted? How is it rated right now this week? Very, very handy. Mediabase Callout. This is another one of my duties I had back when I was cutting my teeth as a weekend programmer. I actually had to grab the yellow pages and call up businesses and get a girl on the line and maybe just spend a few minutes with her, asking her what her favorite songs were of the week, playing song clips on the phone just so she could rate it. It was really the best way to find out from the listener what their thoughts were. And so Mediabase Callout does that. I'm not sure if they're still calling by phone, but it might be an online service of some sort, but it's still quite accurate. You can break down the scores like familiarity, popularity. Is it really well known amongst demographics? In other words, we're not talking about the men, we're talking about the ladies. We're talking about maybe an older demographic, younger demographic. That's what Mediabase Callout is all about, and that's super handy when it comes to organizing your crates. These are the third-party tools that I highly recommend you bookmark right now. This is where the free stuff kicks in right now. The free training, these goodies are really going to help you, even if you don't become a Crate Hackers member, but you should. sortyourmusic.com. Bookmark that right now. In fact, I'm going to take you to my screen really quick and kind of show you how this works. You log into Spotify, and from here, you've created all of your playlists. I picked up a Bollywood. And again, Bollywood may be unfamiliar to some of you. Maybe not everybody is totally keen on this genre. This is a great way of being able to really break down how it feels, not how it sounds. Just by looking at this, you can see the BPM, the energy. You can call them up and down to see how much oomph there is to it. Danceability, is it a toe tapper? How loud it is. Valence, now what is valence? That's the actual mood of the song. Is it happy? Is it depressing? You can really toggle up and down and actually start to mess with people's emotions. So you can, of course, lock your BPMs in. You could use harmony. We're going to talk about harmony in a minute, but when it comes to mood, there's an angle that not many people have access to. Being able to mess with their emotions, to literally make them not just dance, but smile, that's a powerful tool to have. And again, this is free. You can log in right now and take all your Spotify playlists, dump it in, and it's all here for you. Super handy. That's one third-party tool. Here's another one. This one's a mind blower. All of my hackers have this bookmarked. It's the playlist miner. Let's see. I'm gonna type in just a random genre. Let's just type in twerk music. Okay. So now what's happening here is it's going through any Spotify playlist that was titled twerk. Okay, so there's hundreds of them, of course, right? And from here, I'm gonna click Find Top Tracks in all of the Spotify playlists named twerk. What you're seeing right now is it's starting to aggregate all of the songs that were added to the playlist. So in other words, the songs that are added most get calculated here. Talk about a game changer. You can see right now that just looking at this, WAP, one of the most added songs in the twerk category. In fact, 85 playlists have added that. You can see it's still kind of doing its thing. But how handy would this be if, like, maybe you're talking to a bride and groom and they're not quite sure if they want to hire you? They're like, we're looking for more indie, new wave artists. And all the while your laptop's over here at the coffee station and you're just typing up indie, new wave, and you're popping off artists and songs. And they're like, oh, we got to hire this guy. He knows what we're talking about. This is the ultimate resource. Again, more third-party tools to help you out and analytics to help you hack your crates further. Problem number 2 is consolidating your music. Taking out low bit rate songs and finding replacements to really make them sound pristine and loud and crisp. Super important. Erasing duplicates. Nothing worse than having more songs than you need. Do we really need 6 versions of Usher's Yeah? No. We're going to delete crappy remixes. We're going to get like-minded DJs involved in each other's library. It's kind of a crowdsourcing of opinions. Again, release that elitist mentality. You're not the tastemaker you think you are. You might be. There's some success in this game where the 1% can pull it off with their taste and their taste only. But a majority of us really need to get input from the industry to really see if we're on track. Batch editing. Super functional tools that can, again, speed up the process. Creating subfolders per genre. And backing up to the cloud. This may be kind of new to you. I'll walk you through it. We'll sync playlists to Spotify, Apple, Tidal, and so much more. And we're going to prep crates for the future of DJ technology. I'm so excited. I've looked into the future. I got in the DeLorean and I came back with some information you definitely want to stick around for. It's exciting stuff. So let's start with consolidating your music. More than anything, it's, in the comments earlier, we were talking about 80,000 songs, in your library. And to me, it's a little ridiculous. As you can see, I'm kind of a minimalist. I like to be able to try and keep things simple, because if there's too much chaos, there's just too much stress. And the hoarder mentality. Really, I want to try and break you of this tonight. You don't need 10,000 songs. This is not the time to bring out your inner hoarder. So we're going to consolidate our music. Here's what I want you to start with tonight. Immediately following this webinar, I want you to lasso all of your songs and put them into one folder. That's where we start. Take your USBs, take your storage units, take your stuff off the cloud. Any MP3 or WAV that you own, put it into one folder. And you better lock it down. That's your money right there. But we're going to keep it in one folder for now. Then it's from that point we're going to erase duplicates. And there's many tools here listed, including Record Cloud, which is one of our partners. We're going to talk highly about Record Cloud in a minute. A couple of other free alternatives like Duplicate Cleaner, TuneUp. These can all find those 6 variations of Yeah and delete it for you. Then we're going to take out the low bitrate songs. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on stage after a DJ who was playing YouTube rips or 128 kilobyte versions of songs, and then I would come in with my 320 and the sound guy would walk up to me and say, "What did you do that was different?" There's the answer right there. 320 is really the highest quality you can have, and it's helpful for line array speakers, major concert productions. They really require at least lossless or 320 minimum. So from that big folder I was talking about, you just definitely want to get rid of anything that is 320 or less. I know it's going to be hard. Again, this inner mentality of the hoarding, this is that line. It's going to be difficult. You're like, oh, I really need this remix, or I need this version in 128. If you have to keep it, fine. But go find a better version of it. Find something that's just maybe a little higher quality. It's time to start pruning, is my point. And you want the highest quality versions. So 320 is where it's at, in my opinion. From that point on, we're gonna delete crappy remixes. Again, this is difficult. It's hard to decide which one is good, which one is bad. I do dive into that philosophy quite a bit in the Crate Hackers private group, but really the truth of the matter is how I do it, personally, I try to find 2 or 3 remixes, period. And, they tend to get stale after a while. Sometimes they have a short shelf life. So really listen to it and try to minimize it down to 2 or 3 different remixes of a song. It's really gonna help with your guesswork, I guess, because if you're looking at all these versions of All I Do Is Win, can you possibly remember what each one actually sounds like? Probably not. So just keep it simple. Batch editing. That's again a way of being able to find ways to minimize your time in front of the screen. Again, Record Cloud, Platinum Notes, and Mixed in Key are my top 3. These are the ones I work with before in fact, I don't even let my music touch my DJ software until these guys run through it. So there's a kind of a 3 to 4 tier step process before it even graduates into my Serato or my virtual DJ or record box. They go through this first. So let me take you through. Let me show you how that works. I'm gonna go ahead and pop up Platinum Notes. So I've taken a song, Ed Sheeran as my example, and you're gonna see here the before and after. And as you can see, it doesn't matter where I got the song from. It could be from the record label itself directly. Sometimes mixing can cause peaks. And what I mean by that is when you look at your gains, it's sometimes peaking into the red. This is gonna try to minimize that for you. There are no red peaks, but you would see them in this particular version. What this has done actually is kind of enhance it. So it's bringing out the tones that are a little quieter and bring them more to the forefront. I really can't tell you how cool Platinum Notes is. You just have to hear it. So grab yourself a pair of maybe some Bose headphones and put the before and after. You'll notice a massive difference. As you can see, it took it down a few dB as well. It's really quite a remastering of tools that I really like. Highly recommended. So that's step 1. From that point on, I'm gonna take that track and I'm just gonna load it into, let's see here, where'd that song go? So I've analyzed a song here in Mixed in Key, and again, we're really gonna focus on harmony mixing. That to me is the bread and butter behind the Crate Hackers secret recipe. You can match tempos, but if it doesn't sound good in terms of the vocals or the actual harmony, then really you're gonna have an off mix. So what we found is a very accurate key result. Again, this may differ. Virtual DJ, Serato, they all kind of read them differently. Mixed in Key is kind of like the gold standard. This is the most accurate version of a key result you're gonna find, as well as a very accurate tempo. Check out this. This is a patented energy field. Energy, not the tempo of a song. A track could be 74 BPM, it could be 128, but the energy could be less or more. This you can only find in this software, Mixed in Key. On a scale of 4 to 9, it shows you how much energy is behind it. Here's something cool. There's cue points it builds in, and check it out, automatic cue points. Now, I'm gonna kind of sway you away from these. If you want a raw and dirty cue point system, fine, do that. It's meant for that. It's basically trying to find the dips and valleys in a song and guessing where it should go. Not handcrafted. It's not the greatest benefit, but it's there for you if you need it. I do have a solution for that, by the way. We'll get to that in a few short minutes. Mixed in Key, all right. And then let's go ahead and go to Tractomizer. Tractomizer is probably the most expensive piece of software I've purchased. It's not cheap, but this gives you all that data and analytics that the Spotify Sort Your Music website, you know the one I was just pumping up about 10 minutes ago? This does it without the need for Spotify. So you can drag your songs in and it will give you the danceability, that valence we were talking about, all that without the need for a Spotify. So what if you have like a remix that's not available on Spotify? Or what if you have like a bunch of library songs that you don't want to rebuild in a streaming software? Well, this will do it for you right here. Again, experimental, very, very expensive. I only bought it for the Crate Hackers community. So in essence, you're really just getting it from me nonetheless, but it's there for you. So those are some third-party tools that I can certainly help you out with. Let's go back before we go any further. We're going to create subgenres in both Mac or Windows. Doesn't matter. But more than anything, remember that folder I was telling you about? That one master folder? It's at this point that you want to graduate those songs into categories, genres, if you will. And again, we're doing this before you bring it into your Serato, into your record box, anything like that. You're making a file system on your computer first. As you can see here, what I've done is I've got scenario folders. Like if I'm in a rap club, there's the Rhythmic Club, Top 40 Current, Wedding. You can see I even have it broken down there from the beginning all the way to the end, the ceremony to the last dance. So again, to avoid duplicates, what you want to do is try and figure out the master genre. A lot of people get confused about this. They're like, okay, wait, you're asking me to eliminate duplicates. Well, how do I put the songs into these if it falls under different categories or genres? You just put it into the most primary genre for starters. It's from there you would take that MP3 and then start cross-pollinating it in your software. Make sense? So we're not duplicating, we're just essentially dropping it into a master bucket just for starters, and then we'll bring it into your software. We're gonna back up to the cloud. Now this, a lot of people are thinking is not stable, it's not reliable. I'm out in the boonies. I do these wedding venues with no Wi-Fi. I get it, it's scary, but I'm here to tell you that I've been a user of Google Drive for 7 years of my profession, and never once has it failed on me. Crossing fingers, knock on wood. Google, hang in there for us DJs. This is by far one of the most solid backup plans you're ever gonna have. So you would take that entire master folder with all your subgenre folders, and you just drag it straight into Google Drive. Let me take you to my screen really quick here and show you what I'm talking about. Now this is the web-based version of Google Drive. I do have it also here, basically the software. This is the web-based version just for this demonstration, but as you can see, all those sub-genres that I have are all right here. They're all in this folder. Now, why is this handy? Why is backing up handy? Well, again, so let's say maybe during this presentation, I accidentally bump this and my computer's gone. Oh no, well, Google Drive to the rescue. Everything's backed up so that by the time you get your new laptop, it'll all be there waiting for you. It is the ultimate backup solution. If you really want to take it one step further, go ahead and put it into Dropbox as well. That way you will never, you may have, more than you need, but again, always have more than enough backups. Step number 2, we're gonna organize your crates by syncing all your music to streaming platforms. Now, a lot of you are on the fence about streaming, especially during live events. We'll tackle that in a few seconds here, but first let's just get the music on there. Another way of being able to back up, to be able to play from a tablet or a lot of DJ software is actually quite compatible with a lot of these, and we'll demonstrate that in just a little bit here. So, DJing is always a moving target. You never know what software may work, what hardware is going to expire after a while. So it's best to always put them on more than one streaming platform. Me, I do it all. Any available streaming option, I do. And I do it quite easily. Here's one performance hack. Over here is another website you should bookmark. It's called SoundIs with 2 I's. And if anything, it's more like my streaming library locker. All of my platforms that I use are here. And let's say I'm using BeatSource, but I want to send that playlist to Spotify. I can do that with one click. Same goes for any of these. Very, very handy. And you can synchronize them. You can make one edit to change all of them. As you can see right here, I've got over 1,400 playlists, which by the way, Crate Hackers have access to. These are called cloud crates, and we'll discuss that in just a few short minutes. Cloud crates, remember that term, because this is definitely going to be the future of DJing. And you may not believe me right now, but I'm going to convince you in a minute. So sound is, definitely bookmark that one. So let's take you back to the early days of DJing and how it's beneficial to always prepare for the next variation of DJing. Of course, I was a vinyl DJ for many years, got it tattooed right here on my arm, vinyl for life. But then I started to see new technology come along, CDs. And I remember the vinyl purists are like, I would never use CDs. Vinyl sounds so much better. There's still that argument in 2020. Whatever the case is, it was another piece of hardware that I had to integrate because I knew that was going to be the future. Then it became the laptop, and the same argument applied. Again, the vinyl purists and the CD lovers, they're like, oh, I would never put all my music on a hard drive. What's that? That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Bring a laptop to a club? You're kidding me. Now it's to the point where, in fact, here I can just take this SD card and show you. This is where we're at in 2020. All your music's stored on a USB storage device. So instead of having to lug around, a wall of CDs or even a laptop for that matter, I grab my headphones, I grab this, I catch the next flights to Vegas, Lord willing, and I can rock any party just with this. That's the current state, but you're starting to see the shift. And I really want you to pay close attention to this and don't fight it, embrace it. The future of DJ technology. Where is this going? Well, we've kind of given you a little bit of insight a minute ago with the cloud, but that's really the answer. Everything is moving to the cloud. I cannot stress this enough. What used to be ours is no longer ours. It's kind of a scary thought if you think about it. In fact, in the chats, tell me, when is the last time you actually went out and physically bought something tangible in the form of music? Be it an album, be it a CD. When's the last time? God, I'm trying to remember. I mean, at least 10 years for me to buy a CD. MP3s, they're going away as well. Kind of. They'll always be around. They're always going to be around, but it's constantly evolving. Everything is moving to the cloud, especially with the upgrade to 5G, especially with some of the new software coming out, allowing you a chance to download, quote unquote, or cache the files. Again, many of you barn DJs at the weddings with the patchy signal, you're arguing that right now in the chat. I don't even have to look at the comments. I know everyone's saying, oh, no, it's not going to work. No, it works now. I want you to look up SoundCloud DJ, Beat Source Link, numerous other technologies where you can actually download a streamable song. That's where it's going. It's exciting to me because really, think about this. I walk into Vegas nightclub and I don't even need to bring this SD card with me. I walk up to my computer. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I had this, the Denon Go. And a lot of other Denon units have this as well. You can literally just log in to your Tidal account and stream right here. You just need a username and password now, and your music is waiting there for you. That is exciting to me. You don't have to worry about incompatible hardware. You don't have to worry about, is my song collection up to speed? No, it's there. It's just a couple key presses away. That's exciting. Secret number 3, we're going to show you some performance hacks to blend music flawlessly. Okay, so let's say we've done all this work. We've collected and corralled all your songs. We've analyzed them. We've deleted the duplicates. Now we're just going to start mixing music. The fun part. And here's how it starts. We're going to sort our crates by using the mixed in key, platinum notes, the cue point generator that I showed you, the genre tagging, which is another thing you can do. All of these can be easily done. But more than anything, let's just start with the basics. The simple fact is you just need to pay attention to your audience and look up. Moving your laptop away from sight helps. As you can see right here on my table, I don't have this directly in front of me. It doesn't look like I'm at a work desk typing up emails. I have it kind of to the side. So that's one way of doing it. Remember that scene in Star Wars where Luke is going through the Death Star trench and he's got that visor in front of him showing him how to navigate, and then he hears in the back of his head, use the Force, Luke. You got to remember, vinyl purists, remember this well, there were no waveforms in front of you. You weren't guided with visuals. Unlearn this. A lot of you new DJs really need to unlearn the visual aspect. You need to start hearing. You need to use the Force. So even if it just starts with taking a piece of tape and putting it over the waveforms, great. Start there, but just start feeling. That's so important. I said it earlier. This was probably the most important 2 words that my mentors have taught me. Look up. Pay attention. I mean, who knows if that girl is giving you flirty looks? How would you know? You missed so many phone numbers, my friend, just by staring at your computer. You need to be, mindful and present and aware. You need to eliminate Serato face is what I'm saying. So it starts here. You want to consider just ditching the laptop altogether. Migrate to something that's more internal. Again, this Den & Go, I have the option of streaming on Tidal. I've got the option of using an SD card. The same applies for one of my personal favorite controllers, the Pioneer XDJ XZ. One's in the chat if you think the XZ is better than the CDJs. I honestly believe it is. Those hot cue pads, all of the portability, it feels just like one of those $6,000 rigs I was playing on back in Vegas. This is legit. I love it, and it's all in one. No need for a laptop. Optional if you need it, but it's there. Denon, again, big fan of Denon as well. Get to know all of your software. Get to know all the hardware. You never know what booth you might walk into. It's time to be prepared. So yeah, definitely consider just streamlining, minimizing the amount of load in and load out. Go with an all-in-one controller. Try that for starters. And then we're gonna sort our crates. This is where it all begins with your software. See, leading up to this very slide, we were talking about all the music that just sits on your desktop for now. It hasn't even been migrated into your software of choice. Me personally, I'm a Rekordbox user. One's in the chat if you're a Rekordbox user. Serato, I love you. I never used you much. I was never really into Serato. I kind of leaped from virtual DJ to Rekordbox, mostly because Serato was never really that good when it came to harmony mixing. There's no real one-click viewer to find songs. There's some hacks for it, and we'll show you how if you really are stuck with Serato. But you can harmony mix quite well with it. There's a couple workarounds. But anyway, we're going to start performance hacks by just sorting the crates, getting the songs in order, getting the cross-pollination part I was talking about, where you're having those subgenre folders. You definitely want to go ahead and push those into duplicate versions in your crates in your software. And here's how I do it. I start with these, and maybe jot this down. The more important things you need on your screen at any given point are these top 6. Key first. Put your key first. Put it before BPM. Let me take you on a quick example here. Let me show you my Rekordbox. Right here is my key right before my BPM. Very handy. And the reason why I say that is so you can be mindful of it. Before checking out the tempo, see if there's some harmonic compatibilities first. BPM, artist, title, obviously, danceability and mood. You're like, wait, where does that, how do I even show that? Where does that even seen? Serato doesn't show me that. Well, if you look over here on my Rekordbox, you've got 64D and 20H. What that means, the D represents danceability. Maybe we were talking about that. We got that from the Spotify API. Danceability, you can call them up and call them down and find out which songs have the most toe tapping ability. And you've got happiness, H for happiness, valence. It was too confusing. We decided to ditch valence and just go with H, happiness. So not only am I taking into consideration the tempo of the song and the key of the song, but also mood altering factors like danceability and harmony. So definitely start sorting your crates this way. And I'll show you guys how to get the danceability and mood into your software with just a few more hacks. Learned this actually before I even recommended. I didn't even do this until I met my Crate hackers in the room. Using hashtags is really quite effective. Who knew that typing hashtag into your Serato would actually populate songs in a genre? It requires a little bit of work, and we actually have tutorials showing you how step by step in the Crate Hackers website. Recommended cue points. Now, cue points are, how do I say this? Everyone has their own way, and there is a right and there's a wrong way, but let's just cover the basics of what I'd like to see you put together. Let's just go back to my software here. I have A, B, C, D. A is the beginning. Everyone has a cue point in the beginning. Okay. Now B is where the vocal kicks in. If it's a half beat before, then I do it a half beat before. If it's, slamming on the one, I put it on there, but here's mine. So there's my B. D and C. C and D, basically I'm trying to get 32 beats before the last 32. I want to try and have everything put here out to where I can visually know when it's the right time to push play on my next deck. And we're going to dive into that in just a few short minutes. I'll take you on a walkthrough. But nonetheless, A, B, C, and D, super important to add in. But again, what if I told you that I did all this work for you already? We did. You don't have to be sitting there manually entering in accurate cue points. I was kind of slamming the other automated cue point makers. It's because they're automated. What about manual? I've solved that for you, and I'm going to show you how later tonight. Problem number 4, and a lot of you can definitely relate to this, especially in 2020. We've been locked up in our homes. We haven't had a chance to really be in dance floor arenas, and that can really take a toll on your emotions, on your productivity, and some of you are trying to figure out some clever ways of still staying in touch with your audience. I did the same thing too. I isolated myself, and I essentially took my music to the web and did some live streaming. As you can see there, I was in a very small apartment at the time, and right behind me was my kitchen. So it was very frustrating. I had to actually literally climb over my turntables to get breakfast each morning. It was becoming a hassle, and after a while, as you can see with your live streams, you're not getting as big of an audience as you used to. Facebook algorithms aside, it's just starting to lose its popularity. So at this point, I realized, what's left? What can I do? How can I make an impact? How can I meet people with like-minded abilities? And that's really where it all began for me. Crate Hackers started during all of this. Now that I had all this free time, I was able to take these little ideas that I've had, culminating, and figured out a way to help future generations. I'm not getting any younger. It's time for me to live vicariously through you and your experiences, and there's nothing I love more than hearing about your story once you've learned all of these tricks. To be able to know that you've rocked dance parties and I had a little something to do with it, that's all I ask for. It's a good feeling. Passing down my knowledge to you is really important. And now more than ever is a great time to really get the attention of people who've inspired you. In fact, I don't think Joe and I would have ever really become this close were it not for quarantine. We had extra time on our hands. Joe put me under his wing. He never would have had the time to do this. And I'm here to tell you that Joe is just as widely available now and available to answer your questions in the DJ as well. But it's not just him. It's many other DJs who can break you out of this isolation to not make you feel as lonely. There's experts who actually have time to answer your question now. So reach out to them like I did. In fact, I'm going to make it even easier for you with Crate Hackers. Nothing would frustrate me more than going into a club and seeing these guys who would bring in their crates of vinyl, and all of their albums had white labels on them. They didn't want you to see the next track. I thought that was so... it just frustrates me. For one, it wasn't your song to begin with. Why are you taking credit for somebody else's work, and let alone hiding it from others? That was never fair to me. People who would go in and take the Serato edits and change the name just so people peering over their shoulder wouldn't peep the track. Again, if you're one of those people, I don't want to invite you to my cluster of friends here, because we're trying to break down that barrier. We're trying to speed up the process. And we realize that we are bringing in people who are willing to learn, and they may take their jobs. They may end up, replacing you. That is, of course, if you're not prepared. If you don't have the swag, if you don't have the style to still sell your brand, that's on you. But I really can tell you, more than anything, helping is better than hurting. And you're going to get that back tenfold, not just through karma, but just living vicariously through their successes as well, like I am. Guesswork breeds inaccurate results. Living in isolation is a real problem because you can't get enough feedback. You don't know whether or not this song is going to work because there is no dance floor. So you're left to your own devices and your own opinions. And again, that breeds results that aren't going to be very helpful for you when the doors fly open again. Motivation is lost when going at it alone. You don't have to be. I want to introduce you to some pretty amazing people who will keep you amped up and charged and ready to tackle these events when 2020 finally wraps up and these parties really kick off. And it all begins with surrounding yourself around like-minded DJs, people who are willing to share. Again, the people who are not hiding the music or their secrets. You help them, they help you. It's vice versa. That's how our team works. And more importantly, hacking. We love to not only find the bangers, find the songs that work, but we also find those shortcuts. All those slides I was showing you earlier, I would never have learned any of that were it not for hackers, people who are, of course, not evil or black hat hackers. We're those white hat hackers, the ones who are able to kind of help each other out along the way. Hacking saves time and breeds efficiency. We're going to speed up your process with hacking, not just in terms of how to minimize your library and eliminate Serato face, but supercharge your database to where you get that time back. Look who I brought in the room with me, and I'm about to introduce you to, and you have full access to. You've got the edit master, DJ Scooter. You might see his remixes on DMS and various other record pools. He's in the room with us. Pittsburgh Steeler DJ, Digital Dave. The GOAT, the man. You know him, you love him. We're talking the main stage performer every year at Mobile Beat Las Vegas, Jason Janai. And of course, the most diverse, multi-talented producer and DJ, Drew Pierce. I met all these guys during quarantine. Just within the past 6 months, I've bonded and made friends with them because they had time, I had time. We were all working towards a common vision. And these are some of the hackers that are sharing their secrets with you in our community. Now is the time to hack your crates. And now more than ever, I'm going to save you time. All of that work may seem like a mountain of stress. You're thinking, whoa, Aaron, you're just crazy. How can you possibly allow me to... all of that work you've done sounds like hours of work. And it is. And I want you to be stressed out. I want you to lose your mind to all this and almost give up on this webinar, but not yet. What if I told you I did all of this work? And all you have to do is just press a few buttons. Welcome to Crate Hackers 3.0. Again, with technology and hacking, we've had 3 versions in the past 6 months. Why? Because people like you are bringing feedback into the room. You're helping us amp up the processes and speeding it all up. We're already on version 3.0. And for you 2.0 members and 1.0 members, you haven't even seen this yet. The world has not seen Crate Hackers 3.0 until now. Let me take you to my screen and share with you the brand new, very functional cratehackers.com. If you're a 1.0 member or a 2.0 member, don't worry about it. The price is locked forever. The longer you stay with us, the price remains the same. If you duck out and leave, the price goes way up. So I highly recommend you stay with us. So here we are at the front page of Crate Hackers. Let me just go ahead and expand this really quick here. Very clean. Mobile friendly too. You can optimize this and just save it as a desktop app or a web app. It's perfectly universal. But gosh, where do I even start? Well, you can type in for your favorite crates. You can type in any genre or just click through any of them. Let's go into the rap category. And what we've created for you are very much, this might actually look familiar to you if you recall the first few slides, those Rick D's show notes, the Joe Bunn epic set list. They're all pretty much laid out like that because that's the framework that I had in mind as I built this website. But we're going to click on the Wrap November 2020 and click through. So once you're here, you're going to be able to find songs just like any other standard playlist. But as you scroll through, you start to notice some compatibility. Check out the BPM. Check out the key. The circle of fifths that we're using to harmonically mix everything. The energy, the danceability, and more than anything, the chart-based songs. Again, we're using all that Mediabase Callout, all that sort your music, all these tools to figure out what songs slap. And then we're also bringing in people into hackathons, which we'll talk about in a second here. Virtual crowdsourcing, where we in real time can put these traits together. And we have nothing but professional DJs in the room as this goes along. So as you're scrolling through, you'll notice here the cloud crates. Cloud crates are super functional. Again, I'm talking about the future. It may be still kind of early, but we are way ahead of the competition. If there is any, we're ready to stream and log in to any nightclub booth just by using cloud crates. So this playlist you can see right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just open this one up in Spotify. And you're gonna see that this is ready to go for you in Spotify. In mixable order. There is the secret sauce to crate hackers. Unlike any other playlist you're gonna find online, everything is in BPM and harmony sync. Now again, I wanna pause right here. A lot of you are like, wait, Aaron, you're telling us just to play 25 minutes of your curated set list in order the way you would do it? I mean, you can. Entirely optional if you want to, but let's not forget about creativity. Let's not forget about your trademark, your personality, your style, the way you blend in and out. I'm not saying start from top to bottom. Bring in some of your own flavor. Maybe some of these songs will be like, I never thought that this song would mix well with that. I never thought that I could stack this track on top of this track and make them all work together. This is how Crate Hackers works. From the inside out, everything is all very much available for you in certain genres, in certain styles. And it's something for everybody. We're really fleshing out 3.0 in terms of genres and multifaceted splinters of styles. I mean, everything from Bollywood to Motown to wedding crates. It's absolutely phenomenal. We're churning out playlists, by the way, at breakneck speed. What used to take us 2 hours back in 1.0 land is now taking us 10 to 15 minutes. So a lot of you are interacting in the chat as well as in the social feed below. Everyone is able to make suggestions as to what songs work. In the social feed below, you can see here tons of comments. Again, more feedback to help us prepare for Crate Hackers 4.0. It's a group of hackers who love to give feedback, and that's why we have been able to evolve so fast. It gets even better. On the right-hand side of the screen here, you're gonna see the crowdsourced crates. Again, this is a group of people who will join us every Tuesday night in our Facebook private group and give feedback on songs that work for them. Every Tuesday night in the Facebook private group, we essentially allow DJs of all styles and all variations to join us with their input. They bring a song to the table, we spit back out 10 songs. It's kind of a give a penny, take a penny scenario. Instead, it's give a penny, make a dollar. You're essentially bringing in some of the most professional DJs in the industry as our co-host. And in this particular case, Shani from Chicago, she had a twerk music hackathon. And we're constantly building this as we go. and allowing you to give us feedback as well. You can actually tag songs here. You can add a song if you'd like to the mix. So it's not the end all be all. It's just a constantly evolving crowdsourced playlist that allows you a chance to mix like the pros. What more can I say? Crate Hackers 3.0 is officially live. And now more than ever, it's time to hack your crates. You've got all this downtime, and we're going to save you some time just by joining us. Jump in, log in, cratehackers.com. What more can I say? Crate Hackers is, according to my friends in the industry, quite revolutionary. I really want to give you all a chance to take a peek inside, and Joe is going to show you how. Joe, take it away.